Well, Nick, I think we're into the part of the game that most amateurs need a lot of help on, the pitching part. And, you know, somewhere between the sort of 40 and 80-yard shot is where many golfers need a lot of help. I think really they have a lot of fear about these shots where it really is fairly simple. It's a matter, I think, really of understanding the technique to a point where they make a normal golf swing and understand how far they've got to hit it.
That's right. I think we reduced the body movement considerably. We're just going to work with our hands and arms here, even to the extent of grounding our right foot to keep the body still. And the one secret that we like to use is we try to hold the club off a little bit, i.e. we're keeping the club head behind the hands. The hands are working faster than the club head all the way through. As we said, we've got to be aggressive with these shots and not quit on it, not try and help it up, but hit firmly through.
Exactly. Why don't you hit a few, Nick, and let's see what we've got.
All right, well, we're on the 4th hole of Valderrama here, and this is a great example of a pitch, a difficult one, over water with bunkers and everything. So we've got to be positive and firm with this. And as we said, I line up the club on my target, on the pin. I stand a little bit open, but I'm nice and firm. Weight a little bit on the front foot, the left side there. And as I said before, I'm going to pull it through and hold it there through impact. Keep my head down all the time. There we go, nice crisp shot. We've now moved back 20 yards. The shot remains very much the same. All we want to do now is extend the stroke a little bit more. Same weight on the left side and everything. I'm using a sand wedge for this shot, which I recommend to all of you. And all I want you to do is get back in this same position. Now, one thing I want you to try and remember is to feel the distance. Is whatever distance you take the club back, I'm going to use about a half swing for this, that I want to go through equally the same. This will keep your rhythm exactly the same through the swing, stop you from being too short and jerky going through. So I want it halfway back, halfway through. Let's try one. I just want to emphasize the arm action by keeping the body still. Relax your arms and almost make them feel heavy. I'm going to go halfway back, halfway through. Perfect. Right, we've come back to 80 yards now. I should think this is about the full length of most of you can hit a wedge. And really, I'm going to use what I would call a small full swing. It's going to be a nice, gentle, full swing. I don't want to force it. Obviously now, my body's starting to turn. I don't want to resist quite so much as a hands and arm action. I'm trying to let the whole thing swing. And as I said before, the 60-yard shot, take it all the way back and all the way through. Probably the most important thing here is to stay balanced. Line it up in a nice, full, easy swing. As you can see, I haven't taken much of a divot at all. I'm not trying to hit down on it excessively. All I'm trying to get right is my tempo. Nice full swing, back and through. If you're having problems in getting 80 yards, go to your pitching wedge. I think you'll find that a lot easier. I'll hit one more for you. Right, we're moving on to the lob shot now. Now we have two balls here and two totally different situations. As you can see from the lie, I have one nice and fluffy lie just on the edge of the rough, and I have one very tight lie. Now this is going to require two totally different shots, even though I'm trying to achieve the same thing. From the fluffy lie, the club we're trying to move the club under the ball nice and slowly, so that we're using just the loft of the club to loft it up. We're going to need a slightly longer swing, and we're using really just the weight of the ball to lift it up, and that will let it land softly. On the tighter lie, we're going to need a much faster hand action, a little bit more wrists. So we want to get under the ball, and we're trying to nip it out of this tight lie. So we've got to be accelerating through the ball and hit a nice crisp shot. The tight lie is going to require a much faster hand action, hitting down on the ball, taking a divot, setting the club and going through quite firmly and quite quickly. Again, I want my weight on my left side, club face a little bit open. I'm going to set the club and then pull it through quite quickly, taking that divot. Let's try one. Keeping your head still all the time. Okay, a little bit firm on that one, but I'll show you the softer lie now when the ball's sitting up. We're going to use the bounce of the club to go under the ball, and that's going to lift the ball up into the air. So it's almost, even though we're quite close to green, we're playing like that 40-yard lob shot, the pitch shot rather. We're going to hit through the ball quite soft, a much softer hands and arms action. Because the club face is open considerably, we have to take quite a long swing because we're losing that length. We're trying to send the ball up and then land softly. So again, weight forward and quite a long, slow swing.
As you can see, there is very little wrist action. All I'm trying to do is slide the club head under the ball and make sure you follow through. The 6th green at Valderrama is a beautiful par 3. This is an ideal spot to show you some chipping and bunker shots around the green.
Well, what did you think of those, Dave?
Well, the technique looks relatively simple there, Nick, and obviously you've got a good pattern going to the shot there, and must be a lot of feel involved in these shots.
Yeah, I actually try to get my right hand as the field club. I use my left as just to guide it through the stroke, but you get the feel of the right hand, almost as if you're feeling the distance, rolling a ball towards the hole. Luckily, I can chip them better than that.
Do you change clubs, or do you tend to stick with one club, Nick?
Well, we're about 20 yards or so from the pin here, and I think the most important thing I try to do is get the ball onto the green in those first couple of yards and then get it rolling like a putt. I almost read it like a putt. You know, I stand behind, picture the shot, I get the break, and my target area is here, just a yard or so onto the green. And, you know, I move it a little bit back in the stance and work very much with just hands and arms and feel it forward. So we're just trying to get it on a yard or so. There we go.
Yes, the ball really hugs the green and rolls up, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think as we work closer, as we get closer to the pin, we can change club, and then it really does become feel. You've got to come up, picture the shot. You've got to see your lie, be able to get the club behind the ball nicely. Obviously, if we've got a lot of grass, we need to go for shorter irons. We use 8 irons and wedges, and then we can hit down on it a little bit more. But on a longer shot like this, very much a feel shot in the right hand.
Very much like a long putt.
Okay, Dave, we've now moved to the back of the green. We're only 15, 18 feet from the hole. Yeah, I mean, we hit a good shot in and it's just gone off the back of the green. And this is a shot that a lot of amateurs are afraid of, because really all we're trying to achieve is a simple little stroke backwards and forwards, throw the ball onto the green, we're downhill to the hole and we just want to let it roll. Now, one thing I've used over the last couple of years, I actually use my putter grip. And I think this helps me because all I'm trying to achieve is a little stroke backwards and forwards. I'm not trying to help it at all with my wrists and loft it onto the green.
Very much a pendulum type stroke then.
Yeah, we work very much with setting this angle with the arms and the shoulders and keeping that all in one unit, going backwards and forwards. move the ball quite a long way back. I've got a 9-iron here. As I said, all I'm trying to do is just loft it a couple of yards onto the green. There we go.
It's a very dead shot, isn't it? It doesn't roll much.
Yeah, we're trying to just put enough hit. By changing your grip, that helps, because you've reduced this little bit of wrist action. You know, if you come out too much wrist action, you're going to hit it too hard. So with the dead wrists, we can get a nice... See, I can hit that quite firm, and the ball's only gone a couple of feet past the hole.
Exactly. Now, you're using a 9-iron here, are you, Nick?
That's right. I think you can, again, field a shot. We're going downhill. Obviously, uphill, you can go quite as low as even a 6-iron.